Jay Leno. I'm here with my guys. I've got Bundle. I've got my cuz Black Thunder SSJ in the building. What's up, boys?
What up, stream? Y'all missed the moment.
Tonight we're going to be touching on a couple of topics. We're going to be bouncing around a bit. We're going to start off by going in talking about the so far. I guess we'll say what could be our part one of the Diddy trial. We're going to then go our opinions and kind of give a recap for those who are unaware. Excuse me. Part two, we are going to be talking about the NBA, WNBA, a little bit of news. And then after that, we're going to be paying tribute to Todd Mcfarlane and his influence into the comic book realm and pretty much in superhero content, period. And then we are going to end the stream by giving out updates and our opinions on the latest in Marvel news. Without further ado, I think I'm just going to start this off with the Diddy content. Matter of fact, I'm just going to do our regular format. I'm just going to go. I'll start with my take first. So far, I guess we're on day 7 of the Diddy trial. It's looking like to me that prior to this trial even starting, that there was this huge campaign of Diddy being guilty and the defamation of his character publicly, and it's looking like this man will probably be released for time served. The only thing it's looking like he's guilty of is domestic violence. So that's what it's looking like so far. I'm going to hand the first torch over to, let's see here. Let's go with Bundle. Bundle, you had dibs because you was in here first today. So Bundle, give me
That's a hot take, good sir.
Well, you know what? Look, this is what I do. You don't just go in there with your boing. You know, you gotta warm it up first.
That's a hot take.
Okay.
To get away scot free. I mean, they seem to really want to put Diddy under jail. I mean, if he's guilty, he's guilty. And before we get into that, but there are people that are able to make bond on manslaughter charges. He had 3 or 4 definitive charges before that were completely bond worthy, and they did not let him make bond. So I thought that was kind of fishy to begin with. I'm no Diddy fan, but I thought that was something to that. But get out scot free, I don't think that's gonna happen. But what kind of deters me from the trial right now is just that they're only focusing on Cassie right now, basically, and the things that they did in the freak offs and what he made her do and all stuff like that. And it's just like, I doesn't really care because none of those are really under any of the charges he's against. She accuses him of rape, but the more and more they get into this, it's just like, it's pretty hard for him to rape you if you have a series of like 13 to 16 years of you being completely, with everything. You know what I mean? Compliant with everything. So right now in the beginning of this trial, this is kind of what they did with R. Kelly. This is what they did with Bill Cosby. It's a smear campaign. And they want to paint the worst picture of him possible for you to understand as a public, this is how big of a monster he is. He is this deplorable of a person in character that he will do this, that, and the other. So when we present our other evidence, when we do have our core charges against him, you will already be so disgusted with him as a human being that you'll be like, oh yeah, this is definitely within his realm of the person who Diddy is. But the whole Cassie thing, like, end of the day, like, you are a 30-year-old plus, upper 25-year-old woman. I'm not feeling bad for you if you participating in freak offs. You said yes to that. You know what I mean? You understood that your modeling career wasn't that, and your artist career wasn't stuff. So to stay relevant, be with Diddy, and this is the type of stuff it is. Being freaky ain't against the law. You know what I mean? So they can go ahead and put up as many, guys and gay stuff, whatever they have against them. That's not against the law. Now, also showing the whole domestic abuse, he can't be charged with that again. She already settled out of court for that for $30 million. So they're just regurgitating that again to double down on this is how big of a monster that he is. So they just want to do a smear campaign against him. I'm not free Diddy. He's not innocent, nothing like that. But that's what they're doing right now. Yeah.
I got you. So that's Bundle's take. We're going to elaborate more. I'll move over there down to you, Black Thunder. What's your take so
And
far?
I think that P Diddy is a sick freak.
he
Basically,
nasty. He
that's
nasty.
not
He
it. Yeah.
nasty.
And now it is my turn. So
Hey, you should put the picture up, Jeff. The one picture with the prosecution, because that's gonna help Black Thunder's point, though.
And I
for
agree with
him
that
to
Bundle.
get off scot free will be a disgrace to black culture. It will be a disgrace to American culture. It will be a disgrace to hip hop culture. It would be a disgrace to everything. This man is fucking little boys in the ass.
Hey, bro. Hey, hold on. You're going too far, bro. What are you doing? I have to cut this whole segment now. Like, just go further and clean that up so I can cut this portion out. Like, dang, bro. Wow. Here we are.
Cassidy, they never was in a real relationship. That was all a setup.
Hey,
She was a prisoner.
this is crazy.
And
Well, there goes monetization. First 6 minutes, F-bomb. I can't make any money off of this now. Thanks a lot, Derek.
It's done. The combo's done. It's over.
and that's my take. That's my take.
Hey, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah. So now instead, when I chop these up, I got to make sure I take that part out and then include there and then try to get monetization. This whole stream is dang near slapped now. All right.
Yo.
SSJ, what is your take? And could you please not use foul language?
Yo, I ain't never seen SSJ on camera, but I saw him there, though. That was-
I'm probably red as a tomato right now.
oh, my God.
But yeah, I do agree with both your cousin and Bundle's takes. Like, yeah, they probably do want to paint him out to be the most negative and disgusting foul person that he is. But I still, opinions aside, the evidence is still there, and at the same time, you still can't commit somebody charge somebody for those, freak off sessions because she was of age. It's not like it was like some kind of rape or anything going on.
Yep.
It was consensual, but at the same time, it's just weird.
Yeah.
And the fact, like what we said earlier, that they said that they were going to try to set bond, and he was trying to get bond and released early, and they were denying that each time.
Yeah, that's
is also
insane.
really insane.
It's really
too.
bizarre. It's really, really bizarre.
So
There's
there
the
has
same thing with
to be
Cosby.
more there.
Excuse me, my bad.
No, I agree with you, but yeah, I'm just thinking there has to be just something more there as far as what did this man really do, and we still have information about the baby oil, like the oil that he had, all that oil that he ordered there.
It's just unnecessary. Well, what does my oil have to do with my?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Were you done with your take, SSJ? I didn't know if you were still.
Yeah, that's pretty much my take, though. I just think that it's a very strange situation. We'll just have to see what happens along the line. But I think there's a lot more than what they're letting on, and it would be a shame, like what your cousin said, for him to just get off scot-free, because what is that telling a lot of people, like in the hip-hop community or the black community in general, like, oh, well, because he's rich and he got to do like this weird stuff behind the scenes that was behind closed doors, and that's now being put out in broad daylight. He can just get away with it because he's got the money and power.
Okay. So I've been paying attention to a lot of the updates with this case, and a lot of the interaction has yet to found him guilty. the Cassie and Diddy interactions through their text messages, SMS messages, Diddy spoke in code. So for to use her as a witness to any of the criminal charges that he has, he would literally have to say through text message or phone call, "Hey, I need you to buy me this amount of coke. I need you to suck his dick for money." In which Diddy never had said that. So it's just I think Diddy spoke and represented himself the right way. Even his assistant that was just recently in the courtroom, when he ordered his partying gifts, Diddy was never present. Diddy was asleep. Where was Diddy at this during this time? Diddy wasn't around. Diddy was very sly about how he handled himself. And I want to be honest with you, depending on the upcoming future witnesses that they put into this case, I honestly think that the FBI have been running wiretaps and investigations on him, and after so long, they're just going to take whatever they can get. And I think they shot their load too soon.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
But I think people want to get him in trouble.
Because they've got wiretaps and surveillance videos and et cetera of him, and so they were already investigating him as of anyway.
They are, but if I'm just really thinking about all this crazy stuff, just really look at the 4 charges that Diddy has, and I don't know if we can bring them up right now. I don't want to be ignorant and misspeak on them, but these 4 charges don't. There's a lot of crazy stuff around them that's implied and accused of, but the 4 charges itself doesn't draw this much attention for this man to not make bail. And that's just what I find kind of odd. It's like, what do y'all know that we don't know? Who did he piss off that we don't know about? What's going on behind the scenes we don't know about? And who does he have something else on that is a person of importance that, hey man, you can't afford this, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems a little weird to me because everything's been presented to me as far, even if you detest the man, even if you're just like, you're a sexual deviant, okay, that's fine. That doesn't warrant no bail. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. Something about it just doesn't feel right.
That right now in this climate, they're prioritizing.
What do y'all know that we don't know?
They're prioritizing cutting down on human trafficking. In this case itself, is a huge
and they have a human traffic charge against him, but who do you traffic? I don't know. Everything needs to come to light.
That's why I say, like, I think they've been investigating this man for so long, and
that's what I'm saying. But the biggest things that I've seen,
as soon as they got one charge on him, I think they just pulled. I would not be shocked if the whoever's running that department in the feds was like, look, I'm tired. Look, we're no longer getting funded to investigate this man. Yeah.
I just want them to drop the bombshell. Like, why do y'all have him as a person of interest so bad? Okay, yeah, he beat on Cassie. He did this for that. She settled out of court for that for $30 million. You can't charge him again. Double jeopardy. Fine. Boom. You got him for these 4 charges. What are the evidence points? Y'all got him in there and deliberating for nearly 2 weeks, and all you're doing is creating sob stories. Where's the real meat and potatoes? Where is the child grape, accusations? Where is the real grape accusation? Where is the trafficking? Who was who? Who was that? You released all these people of interest. It's a whole bunch of guys that were mentioned to be in the pre-cause. Okay, they all signed NDAs to have sex with Cassie. Okay, but where is the true back-breaking felony that this man can't catch bail? I'm not defending him, but just where is that evidence that's just like, you need to go. Because right now, you just a freaky-ass, weird dude.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to get out of this.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead,
of course.
So, Bono, you made great points. My question to you is, do you think that these real questions that's not being asked is probably because all of these boys and men that he had sexual relationships with, are they trying to protect their own careers?
It's possible.
It's very possible. It's absolutely possible. It's human nature. 1,000,000% possible.
Okay.
But it's just all about what you can prove, though. But that doesn't. He's not admonished from that. That's
Now,
all plausible. Yeah.
It's gross, like you had said, cuz. But at the end of the day,
What up, Jonan?
at the end, what's up, Johnny? At the end of the day, it's looking like Diddy's just a homosexual pimp, a bisexual pimp.
That stands back. Yeah, I mean, and it's freaky.
He's super freaky.
Yeah. And everything else right now is.
The
optics give it, presumption to be like, see, I told you. But until you like really prove that. I'm no Diddy fan, but I'm just like, at least prove that before you throw this man away for life. That's all.
Now,
I'll tell you guys this though. I took a lot of those Diddy songs that I had on some of my playlists off. I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and listen to some of his music.
Honestly, bro,
didn't even get the Keisha Cole. I was like, nah, I'll listen to the version of Last Night without Diddy, just Keisha Cole.
And I can't listen to Meek Mill no more either.
Hold on, wait a minute.
We don't know if that's true.
That sounded like his voice, man.
Look, bro.
Yeah, but he's too much off of that.
It's AI. I don't know.
No, that whole pool joint though.
Kid Cudi
the
too.
Pool joint. This guy here though, we thought this dude here we just put up was crazy. 2018 Donald Trump tower shooting. He started spewing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Now the ending part, I don't know too much about.
Jonathan Oddie.
And the prosecution today, I sent it to Jeff. I think you should honestly, before you play this, I think you should put the picture up first, if you have the ability to give more of a context. But this, the picture that I sent Jeff, it was actually the true court prosecution of all people of interest that Diddy hired for Cass to have sex with while he viewed her. And this guy was one of them, but because he looked so. No one believed him, but then they showed a picture of what he looked like during that time, and this dude was like a Magic Mike type dude. And it was like, oh, Diddy had a type, bro.
Yeah, there were porn stars.
It was porn stars and dudes that looked like Chippendale cats, and he was one of them. And this interrogation came out, and people were like, this guy is tripping. But now everything that's came out to light about Diddy, everything he's saying about them is like, this dude was lying. But yeah, man, I remember when this came out, I was like, this white guy is tripping. And then when they released those pictures and stuff today, I was like, he's telling the truth, guys. It's crazy.
Y'all remember that song he did a few years ago? I'm coming home. We knew he was coming home too.
Yo, Derek, you had a Hall of Fame moment, man. That's like Jeff, I know you're going to try to edit that out, but all you got to do is just bleep him out. Don't edit out the reactions.
Or if anything, cut that part, save it, and then just send it to us.
And that was just do an outtakes and just bleep him out. I'm telling you, bro. You got to keep that gold reactions, bro.
That could probably be like a blooper moment, if any of that. But what was the next point, or were you playing the video?
I was maybe if you could try to see if you could display the picture, but yeah, there they are, and the guy that we're speaking on is the second row to in the middle, bald guy, bald white dude, and that's him. Yep, that's him, and that's the picture of the prosecution released today. Of all people of interest that Diddy hired for sex with Kathy.
I don't know if they're going to put this guy on the stand because they're going to try and control how much he says, because in this interrogation room, he doesn't just speak on Diddy and Cassie's interaction. He talks about the Illuminati, Bohemian Grove, everybody.
Yeah, he starts getting a little crazy, which is why people do like cast him aside so quick. But the beginning part that he was speaking on, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't think they'll want him to rat everybody out. I don't think the world will want to know that this man speaks bad on Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and
Epstein,
and all of that. Epstein, and make that connection. Because look, at the end of the day, if Diddy ends up on house arrest for domestic violence for 5 years, but we get the exploitation of these secret societies, this is already probably going to be must see TV. I think the viewings for this case might be able to exceed O.J. Simpson.
Mm, I, yes and no. Yes, because social media.
It's not
Yes,
impossible.
because social media is a thing. So everything is at the international fingertips. So there'll be far more people in touch and connected. So yes, on that. But the cultural meaning to what it is, this is just a hip hop mogul going down because
Scrubbed
he's
from the
freaky.
record.
OJ was a racial thing, bro. Like that was like a racial cultural divide that people still aren't over. So the impact won't be as close as OJ, but the viewership because of social media and today and the internet, it will absolutely be viewed more.
But I'll play a little bit of his interrogation of what he had said, and
Yeah, at least about Diddy, that's absolutely worth it.
Okay.
Give me a
You
minute,
don't
I'll
have
use the bathroom, be right back.
time in the United States?
Yeah.
Just my dog Bubbles, my
What's your
service
dog?
dog. Yeah. Diddy and Ross, which are good buddies. Okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross,
Yeah.
and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay.
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah. Gotcha.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter.
All
Okay. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy,
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call yourself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay? I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist.
Okay.
You're my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay. She was just a servant, but she was she took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people.
Okay.
I had settlement with Sean. Okay. Against Donald Trump. Okay, because he used to belong to their side. You understand? He used to belong to that illuminated group that I told you about, which is an elite group, okay, of individuals which run the whole country. All right. Basically, what I did you tell him did you explain him about the message? Or
Please elaborate.
On Thursday, turning to Friday, basically, I went to Donald Trump. I went through the gates. I took I jumped the fence and I took the American flag, I put it in the front desk, and I blew the chandelier. Basically, what I did that for is to transmit a statement to the American people and to Donald Trump that we're not accepting any more corruption and abuse from their system of France. Okay? Donald's still blind because he thinks that he let Hillary off the hook and she's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying. Okay. Keep going.
It ain't like that. The CIA, and then they want to do the same thing that he did to JFK. Okay?
All right.
Why? Because they want the United States to fall. They've already been creating a state of chaos and confusion in the United States, and they want the United States to fall. Donald was against their agenda and won the presidency, okay? He did get help from Russia. He did get help from the Saudis. He also got help from a lot of Republicans in here, which is the electoral college vote. And he got a lot of support from Republican people, okay? The elections year.
I have to pause it. Just for the sake of just not running this video period in case if it's flagged or copyrighted. But a lot of what he said ended up coming to fruition. This is a 2018 statement. Within this video, it's his interrogation, he speaks on a soon to be Donald Trump assassination That did happen.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So I just want to get all of this straight here. What I've been listening to. So this guy used to be a Chippendales guy that P Diddy picked up.
Yes, and he ended up escaping from one of their premises, and he was shot 3 times.
All right. So P Diddy was holding him captive to have sex with Cassidy, and P Diddy would masturbate to him having sex with Cassidy.
He no hold on, no. There, I don't know the actual proof of him being held hostage. He had escaped some premise, and he escaped some premise from being shot 3 times. But in this interrogation, he spoke on his prior jobs that he had with Diddy, where he said he had 13 encounters and he had sex with Cassie and Diddy watched and masturbate.
Yep, he sure did.
And then did P Diddy have sex with him too?
Oh, we don't know that.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
don't
because
know that.
why did he mention that him, Rick Ross, and somebody else is all gay?
I believe that's because he's been at those specific parties. There's been outside of this
He's worked
case.
for hire.
Yeah, he's worked for hire, and he's like kind of like a sex slave for them. He said he was, and that's been a part of this case thing that he did hire people for that. But even outside of that, there have been people on the outside looking in who have been invited to these specific parties, and they have seen that like yeah, like there are certain people here that are hired for a specific type of, like that. They just go into back rooms or whatever like that. There's guys that have been on their own specific podcasts and been like, hey, I was hired as a bartender for this is this. And once the liquor and blah, blah, blah started flowing, yo, so people you wouldn't even believe was rubbing up on Diddy and Diddy then. Diddy was doing this like this. And things were muted then, you know what I'm saying? And now it's, it's coming out now. We just, we got to work on like a compilation video. Yeah,
And
of just
so,
all of those pause moments with Diddy, and it leads up to a lot of these facts that we're talking about right now.
okay, and then P Diddy, Rick Ross, they're part of this black strand of the Illuminati, which they
No,
pretty much do satanic worshiping, and part of the satanic worshiping is
no,
doing
that
each
was.
other in the butt and whatever freaky stuff that they're doing,
Ooh,
I
right?
mean
what up,
I
YouTube?
mean that's alleged that people
Can we say
that
that?
people put.
Can we say that?
Yeah, I was about to say that's alleged. These are stories that's been put on the internet from a lot of other people. But
This man got mad right wing real quick. Okay.
like I
And,
mean,
and this
I
satanic
mean
group.
I mean to be honest with you, I mean if you want to believe that, it's up to you. But there's no facts proven yet. But there is a long list of stories of this organization
Yeah, that is
and this
true.
and this society. We even
And
got
that's,
what's the
yeah,
guy what's the Alex Jones would probably be one of the first
damn,
that
we
spoke
gave
on
Alex
Bohemian
Jones
Grove
promotion. That's
and
crazy.
who recently went to court for his comments on one of the
Sandy
assassination
Hook
the
shooting.
Sandy Hooks, to where
And
when
he
he lost
lost
that
it.
case he lost the rights to all of his library of almost 30 years of conspiracy theories and all this
He was
sort of
pushing some.
content.
He was pushing some BS. He even had me in the beginning. Then so I did my research, and I'm just like, bro,
Okay, and then this group of black Illuminatis try to assassinate Donald Trump and
we.
destroy
No,
America.
no, 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 no,
What
no, 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 no,
happened?
no.
What
He just
happened? What?
no,
What?
no.
Wait, wait,
That's
what?
not what he said. That's not what he
Wait,
said,
wait,
Derek.
what? What
Derek,
happened?
he
What
just
happened?
he just spoke on the government. He just spoke on just the government. Period. That's what he's gonna go.
Where did we go?
I
Anyway,
was just trying to
I.
follow everything that this guy was saying.
You know what? I can't see SSJ, but SSJ is cracking me up. I can't see him,
But
but he's
no,
cracking
no.
me up.
Basic.
Oh, well, I'm just listening
Okay,
now.
all right, guys. Let me just explain this and answer his question. So basically, he's going on a rant of information, of exploitation of his experiences around the elites. So so with his experiences, it's not the bootleg that's assassinating him. He's basically talking about the Illuminati, the top dogs. He's just speaking on future events that eventually did happen. He didn't give us a name of who. Now, Bundle, you're shaking your head, and I can see the top of your head. Would you mind elaborating?
I think we're gonna lose people with the Illuminati talk.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So basically, this is a witness that could be that more than likely will be used in the Diddy trial.
Yes,
That's
yes,
why I
yes.
displayed this
This
person.
man will be using Diddy trial. We thought he was crazy. He's actually telling at least half truth. Now that we know what we know about Diddy, and but at the end of the day, I'm still on what's being freaky illegal for.
So this,
I'm just ready to get to the actual real charges that he's in. I don't believe
Well, Bundle,
they'll be
if
able
P
to
Diddy
prove a
wants to have
rape.
sex with Meek Mill,
I
if he
mean,
wants to have
great.
sex with Rick Ross, that's all fine. You can have
Yeah,
sex with another grown man.
yeah.
It's the Justin Bieber's. That's my problem.
And that's what I said. That's what I'm ready for. Now I'm ready for not pause with saying that. I'm ready for that disposition. I'm ready for that, cross referencing. I'm ready for that. Like, tell us about that. Give us facts about that. You're still feeding us sob stories on a case closed that she settled out of court with Cassie. We know that she was a part of Freak Offs. We know this man's gay. We know he likes weird stuff. Y'all have not gotten to the 4 reasons on his real charges. And his charges, like she said, rape.
I don't
Excuse
think
me,
we're going to.
grape.
I don't
Excuse me.
think those people are going to testify, Bundle.
I understand that, but we said that already. So it's just like, okay, so if we said that with Cassie, now let's prove it. Okay, we can't prove it with Cassie. Okay, but now let's prove the other 3 charges. And then we're still in the beginning, like, preliminary-ish of just trying to tear his character down. So when we do give you fraction facts, you will already be against him. So whatever, it doesn't matter. Bill
I don't
Cosby,
think that's working.
R.
I don't.
Kelly, we're just gonna,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's because you have people critically thinking like this. I'm not defending Diddy. If you are guilty of this, rotten hell. Forget you. You're not doing anything for hip hop anymore. Our money will be spent elsewhere. I'm not rocking Sean John. I don't drink Ciroc. I don't care. You know what I mean? And the way you talk to grown men calling them daddy in the swimming pool is weird anyway, nigga. Forget you. But at the same time, that doesn't mean your entire life needs to be spent behind bars because you freaky with baby oil.
And people sacrifice their morals to hang around.
You know what I mean? If you can definitively, without a doubt, prove I was with this man or woman or boy or girl before their age, put me away, and I will have no defense for that. But we're not there yet. Stop trying to just tear the character down. The whole world knows we don't like him. Get to the brass facts. That's where I'm on.
Yep. So, guys, this is our part 1 of the Diddy situation. I'm gonna be honest with you. If this story is just gonna be an ongoing bull crap type of information in the next couple of weeks, I'm not covering this until it gets to the real shenanigans.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my time with it. But we're gonna move on. So I guess we're going to get into real quick. We're going to get this out of the way. The NBA and WNBA topic. So Bundle, I'm going to start with the NBA. And to keep it a bug, bro, right now we're in the conference finals of the NBA. And my statement is this is the NBA that Adam Silver wants for the future.
Yep.
Hold on one moment. We got a Jonah Level message. He said JB is probably afraid to reveal anything because of his reputation, and especially people disappearing or getting killed like Diddy's ex.
Man, it's not wrong. Ain't wrong.
Hey, look, that is true.
It's not wrong.
But
it's Jonah. Ain't wrong.
But Bundle, I think this is the NBA that Silver wants. I think that from a David Stern transition to Adam Silver's taking over of the NBA, I think the free agency and the superstars switching and changing different teams interfered with the NBA being able to have a finger or control over who makes it to the finals. Right now, with this NBA, what it's looking like for the NBA right now is they want a fast-paced offense. They want high IQ basketball and a team with depth. And they also want to give small market teams a chance. So I think this might be the end of our superstars that have built this revenue that are still in the league now. This might be the end of them. I think this might be the end of the Currys, the LeBrons.
Yeah.
This might be, that whole run, your Durant's. I think this. I think because at this point, 3 superstars is not enough to bear an 82 game season. You're going to need a bench in depth. And if you look at the Denver Nuggets, soon as they lost their bench, they've struggled to get past the second round of the playoffs.
I got you. I hear you. I really be right back. Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, so right
My
now,
question to you is that was having playoff games every other day, was that part of the plan? Was that to weed out certain things? Because I do believe the conspiracy theory of keeping Stephen Curry to a below level of LeBron James. And I find it quite questionable to where, especially in this Rocket series, where you can visibly just go back to all the footage and see him constantly getting hit. And then you have games every other day on top of that. You go all the way to game 7, then you have another game. Now you have to go back into the next series the next day. And it's not only been Stephen Curry, it was Damian Lillard. It was the guy from Boston, Jason Tatum. It was
they got physical with Luka. They got physical with LeBron.
Yeah, but I'm talking about all the guys who got hurt.
Oh yeah,
Gordon got hurt. Jimmy Butler got hurt. Like, why are you having games every other day? I feel like you're ruining the product, because all of these superstars are getting hurt. But at the same time, is it because you're trying to make sure that the older superstars do get hurt? And more than likely, the younger stars, since they're more youthful, they might be able to survive the onslaught. Because Jason Tatum didn't, and he's pretty young. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I don't have an objective take towards you. I think that what I have noticed with the superstars that I named on that list, they're not getting that whistle the way they used to. So if you're a fan of that player, it's going to appear like, oh, shoot, that's a foul. That's a foul. But to be honest with you, the referees pick and choose who they give those fouls to. If you watch an OKC game, SGA is almost getting the whistle like James Harden during the season of the NBA did some years back. And you're just not going to see it. But to go back to my statement, because look, as old as LeBron, Curry, and James Harden is, you have to understand, with them taking the huge amount of the salary cap, and them wanting to build super teams, they have to bear the majority of the load of contributing to a win within an 82 game season, and basically which may total out, including the playoffs, to 100 and something games.
It's too much that the body can't handle.
Yeah, at that age, I don't care what kind of shape you're in. Like look, I mean, if you watch the Minnesota and the Lakers series, we know LeBron James never not in shape. His body cannot take it anymore. He was fatigued. Curry had his wind, but his body, he gave out.
It just gave out. And nobody hit him. His hamstrings just went pop, and that was just from exhaustion. But
Damian Lillard as well.
Yeah, and so why are you having playoff games every other day? Is it that serious?
It's always happened. This is how you wean out the older guys and promote your new product. The old guys, you know what they did? They got the viewers up for the beginning stages of the playoffs. And then at this point, this new basketball is on the big stage. This to me, this is a script almost.
So, do they always have? I can't remember. Did they always have the playoffs every other day, or was it just this year?
Yeah, they always have.
Okay.
And not every team played every day. I mean every other day.
It's every 2 days when you get to the conference finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we had to play every other day, just us. I don't know about everybody else.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, at the age of some of these players, they normally have minute restrictions around this age. Stephen Curry should not be playing 40 plus minutes. There's only few basketball players in NBA history who are in their mid to late 30s playing 40 plus minutes a game and shooting 25 shots a game.
And he had the most rebounds out of all the players in that Rockets and Warrior series.
Yeah, and to speak specifically on your Warriors, it doesn't help that the entire team is not contributing on offense. They're contributing getting Stephen Curry open for 4 quarters straight.
The whole entire team is orchestrated around Steph and nothing else. If Steph leaves, everything crumbles down.
Yeah, they don't run. Look, Draymond doesn't even know the basket exists. He waited until the playoffs to decide to look at the basket and score at least 12 points a game.
I mean, he been shooting the three more aggressively these past 2 years.
Jonan says the old players like LeBron are becoming jobbers. Are you back yet, Bundle? Nope, we're not Bundle back.
I'm back. My charger broke and my iPad. Sorry, I was dealing with that. I'm here.
All right. I believe you had a some WNBA updates for us.
Unfortunately, the only one I really have is that our Fever. We are based out of Indiana, Indianapolis. Anyone who doesn't know that, but so we represent the Fever here. Caitlin Clark, and unfortunately, we have a brand new, amazing roster. And we're looked at to be a potential favorite to win it all, or at least go forward. Unfortunately, we did not win today. We lost by 1 point. Our girl, she couldn't, not Caitlin Clark, but Howard, she missed her last 2 free throws that would have won us the game or tied it and put in overtime. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Almost another triple-double. She scored over mad points in the fourth quarter to make it a close game. I'm really hyped to see what we got this year. And what's saying? You want to talk about the Sophie Cunningham situation?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the hot. That's the hot.
So
yeah, let them know who she is.
We have a new draftee named Sophie Cunningham from Missouri State, Missouri University. She's not a veteran, but she has been a perennial player and a solid acquisition for any team. She's played for the Phoenix Mercury. She was a part of a trade deal that included Bonner, which was the number 3 greatest scorer of all time in WNBA. She just broke their record in the opening night against the Chicago Sky. I was there last Sunday. But Sophie Cunningham played the first 4 games within the preseason, no problems with a basic ankle injury. But she has labeled to been out the first 2 games. And as completely fortunate is because the Phoenix Mercury have a lawsuit going on with their former CEO for having sexual relations with their former All-Star, a.k.a. Sophie Cunningham, who is now a member of the Indiana Fever. Here's the conflict of interest.
She busted open for a check.
She's bad, so I understand it. She's mad bad, so I understand it. So I believe that was his idea to get rid of her immediately because the team knew about it. So if she is not with our team anymore, how can I get in trouble with it? But they still both broke laws, integrities, and regulations within the WNBA. So they are both subject to lawsuit, which is why even though Indiana Fever label her as out with the ankle. She's fine. She's in trouble. So will the Indiana Fever get our other All-Star that we have
Third
predicated our
All-Star, if
team
I'm not
from?
mistaken.
It
That would
is.
make 3
And we
All-Stars.
won our first game, but we lost this game by 2 free throws. With Sophie Cunningham there without her, lawsuit, how does that affect us?
A lot.
And
I mean,
what do we feel?
I will say they have surrounded some better players around Caitlin Clark. I think she's gonna have a breakout sophomore year in the WNBA.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Kelsey Mitchell is probably one of the best two-way players in the WNBA outside of Chelsea Gray. She doesn't get the respect she deserves. Hall, Leslie Hall, Kelsey Hall, one of the two. She had a bad game today, but she is a solid player. She's one of our best players, has been for years. Her veteran leadership definitely helps Caitlin Clark. And let's not forget, Indiana Fever received the first #1 picks for the last 2 years. We got Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Our starting 4, our starting 3, we're solid, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to the second round of the playoffs here on out for the next 7 years, guaranteed. I got smoke for it. What's up?
Okay, that's all good. That's good to hear. Well, that's our NBA WNBA take right on bundle. Let's get into let's get into our nerd content. Right now we want to play tribute to Todd McFarlane. Let me get an image of him up real quick. So earlier today I had text message bundle, and I at first I had wanted to compare what was the superhero that was in Thunderbolts? Sentry, yeah. So at first I wanted to say, I asked Bundle if Sentry was an inspiration to Superman becoming a more gory, darker variant comic. Like, did all that spark from Sentry? Bundle had then reminded me that it was Todd McFarlane that pretty much implemented the gore and graphics, the gore, graphic, dark side of comics, and that influence started in what 19? Would you say what time frame would you guys give Todd McFarlane's introduction, his first introduction to comics?
Mid-90s. That's to say what you say.
Would you say 19?
Yeah, I'd say probably the early 90s.
Yeah.
I know he did Spawn, so I know Spawn is probably definitely a inspiration for probably Superman going dark and being violent.
So like, I mean, pretty much with the homage that I'm pretty much paying homage to, like, any moment that we get a chance to see blood, gore, or a dark story, that all contributes to Todd McFarlane's influence. And SSJ, do you have a variant or anything you want to include about Todd McFarlane?
Not really. I mean, yeah, he's known for creating story. Like he was known for Spawn and working on Venom and things like that. But I think he's a little washed up now.
Dang. Now look, you do realize Todd McFarlane is all bit of the influence that you get from the Image comics.
Wow.
That's like his baby. Your Invincibles.
Yeah.
You know, your boys.
Yeah. But I've heard some of the things that he said out in
like
interviews,
and
I'm just like,
Wait.
I'm talking about like some of the things I've heard him say in like interviews, like how he tried to say like the Sony Venom movie was perfect and that's his baby coming to life. And I'm just like, yeah, but your Venom doesn't have the spider on the chest. There's no way that's your baby coming to life.
Okay. But
No Spider-Man in the story, just a hulking Venom that's rapping and doing DJ stuff in the club. Like, nah.
Well, that's why we haven't. That's why we didn't get a sequel to Spawn either.
But
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Spawn, I think, didn't it have something to do with like licensing and rights issues or something like that with movie rights or something?
Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
what I thought.
so artists and creators, I mean, to transition to film, they had to sign away so much just to get their product into film. So yeah, obviously McFarlane doesn't have the rights to everything.
that's true. That's true.
But I know they're working on something right now. I just it would probably take like Amazon Prime to give us the Venom that we deserve.
I don't know about Amazon.
And what makes you come to that conclusion?
Yeah. It would just take a rated R. They just have to take a chance on being rated R. I mean, if
Yeah.
Sony and or Disney, they
Yeah.
do it. Amazon or Hulu, they don't have to.
It has to include Spider-Man.
Exactly, and that's what they haven't done with him.
They did do it at Spider-Man
That's what
3,
they-
but it was so short.
I didn't know. But that's not. I'm talking about.
But
Yeah.
yeah, they need them to go against each other. The Spider-Man game got it right. The PS5 game. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
They could take even 50% from that. You know what I mean? But Sony has no issues with the legal rights with that. So if they just did that, you just need Venom to interact with Spider-Man. You left us on a cliffhanger with Tom Hardy's Venom licking the screen, looking at Tom Holland, and you never gave it to us. You need to satisfy that.
I think if we were to talk about the Mount Rushmore of comic book creators and influences, you got Kirby, Stan Lee, and I'm gonna go Todd McFarlane at 3.
You ain't wrong. Number 4 would be really hard there with Scott Snyder or Jim Lee or Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, Jim Lee,
Yeah.
Scott Snyder.
Right there. But no, your first 3, there's no arguments.
Jonan says he's doing toys that DC is relying on him for, but I heard some of them are lazy sometimes.
Don't forget
Well,
John
I'm gonna
Byrne.
keep it a buck, Jonan. When it came to figurines, Todd McFarlane had the best figurines as far as detail, like I think about it. Action, like the children today don't know how good the attachments and weapons were for action figures.
They're still down. I'm looking
Yeah.
at Todd McFarlane figurines towards my room right now.
Yeah, McFarlane's
figures are
toys,
cheap
bro.
looking
Nothing messes with McFarlane's toys.
I'm looking right now.
The figures they make nowadays look so cheap looking now.
Oh my God.
And they're expensive, but they look like those figures you would see at the dollar
Yeah,
store.
like posability and function, articulation. Yeah. The articulation is horrible.
Yeah, no articulation at all.
What are you guys' thoughts on the Maximus series and them starting off with Tom McFarlane's Spider-Man? But the articulation is phenomenal, but they're taking up the price to $50.
You said what series are they doing this on?
Are you talking about his figurine?
Well, it's a Marvel's Legend. Is Marvel Legends having a new Maximum series run, and the first one is Spider-Man. The next one's going to be Hulk. The Spider-Man is Tom McFarlane's Spider-Man. This is Tom McFarlane's art style, but the cost of it is $50, and it's starting a big war on the internet because you have people that's supporting it because you get more like pieces with the figure. It's more articulation, but then at the same time, people are arguing that it's still a Marvel Legends, and why are you taking up the price to $55? And this can actually ruin the collecting industry because now you're starting a new standard that might be ridiculous for collectors moving forward.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I guess depending on the articulation and its popularity, like, I mean, people are dang near already spending like 30, 40, 50 for figurines. Like, I'll be scared when the figurines get to 100.
Oh, you know they're gonna do that too, because you see.
I mean, they do exist, but okay. So the Marvel Legends package, like they're more expensive, like after market sold than they are when they're fresh off the press.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was when it comes to the Marvel Legends. But it really just, to be honest with you, it really just depends how much they mass produce the figurine itself. So would you honestly, would you, in your opinion, do you think they're going to mass produce that particular Spider-Man figurine?
They're doing it in waves. So like the first wave has already been completed. Now you have to pre-order the figure again. So it's not available. It's only available only for pre-order right now.
Okay. So yeah, they're probably not mass producing multiples of that figurine. So it's going to be worth even more.
Do you can you pull up the figurine and see if it looks like if you think it's a $55 figure?
You said it's a
Maximum Spider-Man Marvel Legends. It's you'll know that's Todd Mcfarlane as soon as you see the figure.
One moment. Is it the one with the different hands?
Yeah, it has the Peter Parker hands, but with the spider cartridges.
Yeah. I got you. 1 second. I'm about to put it up now.
I know what it's talking about.
I pre-ordered it, then I canceled my pre-order because I'm scared that I don't know.
Because this articulation reminds me of the stuff we had as kids. We didn't have to spend that much to get this version of Spider-Man, but you didn't get that many hands either.
They had that kind of articulation back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking like this was next level.
Even the midriff.
Early 2000s too.
Yeah, like late 90s, because Spider-Man had environments and stuff that he would have to attach to, like that. This Spider-Man would come with a car, a truck, a street lights in cities, and yeah. He had his own waving lines. He had different waves and attachments and accessories that were to add on to him as a figurine. Jonan says, "Oh yeah, back in the day his toys were good, but I mean currently it's a bit lazy." He's got some competition, and I think he's got some comp. But they I think in a recent interview that they're going to mass produce the early figurines, the early Spawn figurines.
Can you flip through the pictures of the Maximum Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So you got your Peter Parker head. You got 2 Spider-Man heads. You got a lot of hand accessories. The webs they don't have no wire, so they kind of like droop down a little bit. So for the $55 figure, I think like you should have wire webbing. And it doesn't come with no stand. It doesn't come with no stand. So if you pose him, you can't even stand him up. And I'm like, for $55, the stand should have came with it. The web should be wired. It shouldn't be like.
This is my true honest opinion about this. I mean, of course you're a Spider-Man fan, you're a huge Spider-Man fan, but for $25 more, you could probably get a better Spider-Man figurine.
Right, like from Mayfax.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like that's.
I mean, McFarlane. I mean, I appreciate you, but I'm not the biggest fan of all of the Marvel Legends figurines. There's only a few that I like.
It's a cheap line to me. It's like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
there's only a few that I like.
Yeah, because it's like all the figures are like $34 now, and the quality is like that's like what you buy your son for them to play with. It's not like collector quality.
I thought the Doctor Strange figurines were pretty good that they had from the Marvel Legends. I had the movie, ones, but I think those are old. Those are back when that film had came out. Everything new that I look at, yeah, you guys are right. They look really cheesy and cheap. They look like the $10 figurine.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the dollar store.
Yep.
And I don't know about y'all, but I noticed they've been raising the price for these figures, and the figures have been getting a lot smaller.
Yeah, I think that you might as well just save up and buy a hot toy. At least it'll be worth it, you know?
Yeah. At this point, that's
Yeah, hot toys.
Hot toys, Mayfax, Mezco, SH Figuarts. That's what adults should be buying, not no Marvel Legends. You know, the high quality stuff, you know, because it's going to cost money anyway, so you might as well just go all in and get the quality.
Well, guys, that's gonna conclude our tribute to Todd Mcfarlane. We appreciate you. Hope things work out for your upcoming Spawn film in the future. All right, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is our Marvel news. We can get comfortable again.
I am comfortable, cuz.
So
Capcom presents Marvel Comics.
So right now, Marvel confirmed 6 TV shows to be released in 2026. So we're looking at Spider Noir, going to be 26, going to be on AMC / Amazon Prime. What do you guys thoughts on the
about that
Spider
trailer?
Noir?
I feel about that trailer.
Who's going first?
You
can go, SSJ.
So, because I've talked about it previously, I'm not the biggest Nicolas Cage fan, especially in the recent years, because his movies have been god-awful, because I know that he's been bankrupt for quite a long time and has been trying to pay that off with these terrible movies. But I did like all his older movies, like Face Off and things like that in the 90s. So I think he could pull off a good, hardened Spider-Man noir.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't take like 5 or 6 episodes for him to put on the costume.
I don't think they'll do that.
That's my only thing. If they do that, then it's gonna be a damn shame.
I think they're just gonna go straight in for the jugular. They know what people are anticipating for.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do too.
Yeah, if
he's already. I'm anticipating him to already exist.
It'll be a shame. Like I'll probably be asleep, like I was during Daredevil Born Again. Born Again.
You saying if they did that, if they did what you said, or are you saying period? You're just not interested in Spider Noir.
No, I'm saying if they did like what I just said, like kind of look like what they did to Daredevil Born Again, then I'm just gonna be disinterested. I'm just probably not even gonna want to watch it like that or even cover it.
What do you guys think the rating is going to be for this? Do you think it's going to be PG-13, rated R?
It should be rated R, but knowing how they like to do Spider-Man, they'll probably do like a hard PG-13 and just say that it's hardcore, but it's really just PG-13.
Yeah, I can see that definitely.
I hope it's rated R though.
I do too.
Bundle no.
I need that shit rated R. They make that shit like Fred Miller's Sin City. You make the blood like the whole little. Remember when they did like the whole little white splosh type thing? You know,
yeah.
Like be able to show the thing. You can. That's not just indigenous or a sole concept to his comics. You can do that again.
I think this is an AMC original, and they just share with Amazon Prime, so it'll.
Amazon got some ish on the horizon, bro.
Yeah.
They do, especially with that one.
So
I just hope this will be like in some kind of Spider-Man, like in some kind of universe with another Spider-Man, like if it's in a multiverse and its own. Y'all know what I'm saying? So we'll see. It'll probably just be its own self-contained, if anything.
Joe, hold on. It's probably scarce now for his toys. Okay, hold on. Jonan says, it's probably bad when SSJ says god awful instead of trash.
Yeah, that's how you know I'm being serious.
Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to this, I'd rather see Noir before they jump straight into Miles Morales. I wouldn't mind seeing these different Spider-Man variants.
Yeah, Noir, he's a cool Spider-Man variant. He's way cooler than Spider-Man Miles Morales.
You sound kind of far away, Bundle. Whatever
kinda sound
wherever
far
your
away.
device is, get closer to it if you don't mind.
I said, you think they're gonna go ahead and have the same one across the Spider-Verse?
You didn't get any louder, and your voice didn't get any stronger.
You sound
You
further
sound
away.
you sound even further away to whatever
You're
you're
too
talking
far
in.
away from the box. Get closer.
I'm right here.
So, I don't know, bro. I don't know if your receivers if you're talking from your iPad or if you're talking from your earpiece, or you might have to get both of your earpieces closer to you if you're using that.
How about right now?
Sounds better.
Okay. Do you think they'll go ahead and use the Spider-Man from across the Spider-Verse that went ahead was infatuated with the Rubik's Cube?
That's a good question. It's possible.
It would be smart for them to do though. It would be smart if they did that.
I just like that this was a rumor that turned into a fact.
I think it'll just be self-contained, but if they surprise us and do what Bundle just said, or even if we see like a Doctor Strange portal sling ring or whatever, and maybe one of the other Spider-Men come out, that would be crazy if they surprised us that way, and that could set up for Secret Wars or something.
Bruh, if this is like the Spirit or Spirit, like the Spirit movie, like. This could be pretty BA.
Yeah.
How cool do you think the theme song's gonna be?
I hope it's cool. It should have
like with this look, guys, it can't have no lame theme song, bro. Like it might
it
feel
should
like
sound
you think it'll feel like Dick
to the
Tracy,
Jessica Jones theme song.
like a black and white Dick Tracy kind of deal, like.
It was supposed to end at 12.
I think it would be something like a Jessica Jones
We ran
theme,
over
where
our
it's like
sponsors.
it has like that jazz vibe to it, and then it gets like real suspenseful and serious at the end.
Jonah said, "I'll take Miles over Spider Noir personally, but Amazon seems like in a good place with the boys and Invincible, and this included." I'm just saying, look. I'm not picking one or the other. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do variants, give us the Noir.
Okay, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah. Personally, I disagree. The Noir is way better and more interesting.
I think Amazon is going to be able to take more liberties with his character to be able to show things. Again, like I said, I won't be mad if they tap into the Frank Miller aspect. If they show gore as like a white splash or something like that, I think that's cool. But I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for that. They do now. When you see the Spider Noir trailer, after it says the whole Hulu thing, it does flash to Disney Plus at the end, and Disney Plus obviously is moving into their more rated R content. Make it rated R, 100%. Keep up with it, because you already know when Amazon puts their next heat out, the final season of The Boys, with the political climate that we are in right now with the Trump stuff and blah blah, and how Homelander is, bro, they are gonna give us something like we probably have never even seen before. Maybe on some Infinity War type stuff. You know what I mean?
This is a TV
it's
show
gonna
lineup.
be
You're right, though. If you think about this,
it's gonna be ridiculous.
Time frame.
That last season of The Boys is gonna be like, we're going off with a bang.
It was filler.
We're gonna go off with a bang. You know what I mean? Last season was filler, and everything SSJ had negative to say about it. No matter how much I tried to defend it, my boy was right. But next season, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it.
I'm right.
I'm always right. Tokyo-ish, bro.
What about you? What about you?
Season 4 was the worst.
What's your take on Spider Noir?
Okay, it is my
My
turn.
turn. Let's go. Hey, you
Hold on,
gotta
hold
go
on,
ahead.
hold on. Watch your language, cuz.
When he does that, you gotta
Oh,
like
he
go ahead
cut.
and like put like a sound bite when he does that. But okay, it's like, and Ben Grimm like a little slam down after that when he says that shit, bro. He's gotta have his own. Anyway, my bad, bro. Go ahead, get it in.
That sugar honey iced tea.
There you go.
Yeah, that last joint he gave us
Okay,
earlier was a YouTube.
I got
classic.
you. Cuz, if you don't mind, go ahead.
It is my turn. It is. I am very excited for this Spider-Man Noir series. I love the animation of the eyeballs. I like how it looks animated in a realistic 1920-ish noir world like that is black and white. With the music, I want jazz music. I want music from the times. I want
Jonan said that as well.
Mhm.
Yep, there
yeah.
it is.
I wanted I want people to be like, yeah, see, yeah. I want
Yeah.
all of that, you know, and I want the girls with the bazookas and all that stuff.
That was just short.
And I think that being on Amazon is the best place for it, not on Disney Plus, because if you get it on Disney Plus, you're going to get a definitely a PG version of it. You'll get the most rated R version.
MCU.
Yeah, MCU version. You'll get the best, purest version on Amazon that you possibly can get in today's climate. And we will just have to see. But so far, it looks promising. I love the trailer, and I'm looking forward to it.
Jonan says like those black, white, and
Oh, I
red
didn't.
comics. And Jonan said it's Derek time.
The last thing I wanted to say that I didn't get to finish
Oh,
though, because I got cut off.
my fault, SSJ. Go ahead.
Was that
I got Tim's going.
yeah,
Hold on a
that the
second.
amount of story Spider-Man Noir is just like you could tell just so many different stories with him that it's
Does
insane.
Tim know
Like
he's in
you
here?
could either do the Nazi Germany
know he's in here?
storyline, you could do the Vulture storyline where he's a cannibal swooping down in 1920s New York and eating people. He even went after and killed Peter's Uncle Ben. So like this is a really dark story. So I think not the boys. I think Amazon, we're in pretty good hands if they're gonna go that dark or just go dark in general.
Okay. I'm excited for this because I might get the actual I guess you'll call it the language or the literature, the corny comic book catchphrases. It might feel like the original essence of a comic book watching this, especially with its time frame.
Like one of those comics, like let's say like Iceman saves Spider-Man and he goes, "Oh, thanks. Oh, you owe me, but no worries. Who's counting?"
Yeah, exactly.
Something
Like yeah. All those, we might get some mafia references. Jonah Jameson with being a little more edgier. Yeah. Jazz music.
The mafia is the main enemies that Spider-Man Noir fights, and sometimes the Nazis. So it could go either way since it takes place in that time period. So it'll be really interesting.
Could this be the first time of seeing a Spider-Man that doesn't hold back?
On screen, yes. On to see on screen, yes. I'd say
That's
so.
that's what I meant to say. Spider-Man.
Because the only one they hint at is just Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man not holding back, but that's just them telling us that he did that off screen, not holding back. So before Jonan Level Fox writes that in the comment section, we know about that part. I'm just saying, like something on screen to see. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see a darker Spider-Man on screen with this Spider-Man Noir.
I agree. All right. That's our Spider-Man Noir take. Moving forward, Daredevil Born Again Season 2. What do you guys? You guys excited?
You said that on purpose because you know the answer was gonna happen, bro. Don't even do that. Don't even do that. You already know that they signed on for it. They're not gonna go ahead and make us wait.
Yeah, we knew they were going
We
to do a
don't
season
sound
two.
Man,
for
it's
it, but
on this list. I'm just scrolling down.
we have reason to be excited for the next season. You know what I mean? Obviously, everything needs filler in the beginning to develop. That was a good Disney Plus show, but now we have nothing to look forward to but nothing but carnage. Kingpin is Kingpin. Vigilantes are set in motion. Daredevil is where he's at. Punisher is activated. There's no
The
more. There's no.
Defenders
You know what I'm
should
saying?
be on the
Defenders are
way.
there. There's no more. There's no more filler. You know what I'm saying, SSJ?
His defenders right now are 2 dyke cops, Cherry, that Asian woman that almost failed the hostage situation, and then Josie at the
Derek,
bottom.
You are
Derek,
right.
Derek,
Yeah,
ain't nobody trying to see your thigh, man.
hold on.
Hey, yo,
Derek,
Eric, what you doing?
Derek,
With
man,
respect,
get your thigh out the shot,
with
man.
respect, with respect.
Get that,
Is that
put
not
that
now?
thing away, bro. I'm about to
Is
mute this nigga, man.
yeah, with respect, is that not?
Put
Is
that
that not?
thing, put that thing
Oh,
away, man.
what you doing?
He said, "This for you,
Damn
Gunner."
it, bro. With
Put
respect,
that
is
thing
that not?
away, man.
Hey,
It's
outside
a
of that,
family place.
is that not
Breaking
cannon
all
fodder?
rules today, Derek, man.
He is, bro. What is he doing?
This a habitual line stepper, bro. All right, man. But yeah, Daredevil season 2. Hot off the press on our recent videos. You guys can check our response. But yeah, it's supposed to be the big shebang in season 2. Hopefully they execute.
I hope so, because season 1 was a
Now
flop.
this is what I want. Vision Quest. Let's see here.
I don't know. I don't have any excitement or energy for Vision Quest.
It's set to arrive
I
in
just
26 as part of the Marvel Studios decrease. Recently
I like
spotted
how they
filming,
give us stuff that nobody asked for.
First off,
Vision,
recently spotted filming in England, the Vision series has generated renewed excitement. I thought this was canceled. So, look, I'm a Vision fan. So that's my guy.
They should have canceled. I don't think he's main character material. Like, this should have just been canceled, or he should have just been like in somebody else's show or something.
I don't.
And this is no disrespect to Paul Bettany either, but this is not gonna. I don't know who's excited for this.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Vision.
Like, Bundle, are you excited for Vision Quest, or have you been hyped up for this?
Yeah. I'm excited to see
I know,
what
like,
anything
major
that
comic book
MCU does. So I'm always willing to give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong. So we'll see. But I asked one question: when did we move past Daredevil so fast? I feel like they didn't get the respect it deserves.
I mean, we covered it really fast, and not to mention, we just got done. We had covered the first season so much.
Well, with respect,
yeah, I thought we were
no. Actually, that's fine. But actually, that's fine because I actually have a point to make to segue into that. Jeff, I sent you a tweet that told you what movies you needed to watch, the 13 movies you needed to watch before you saw the Doomsday Avengers. And I feel like that's far more imperative in the conversation for the stream and for the channel than.
We're going to get to it right now.
Okay, my bad. My apologies.
I was going through the lineups of the TV shows that have been confirmed for 2026.
Didn't they say they were going to be cutting back on a lot of TV show releases?
Yeah.
I know that there was going to be a couple.
These are the ones that have already been being filmed. So Vision Quest, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man will have a season 2. I did not watch that show. I don't really want to.
I like to call that show Your Friendly Spider-Man and His Friendly Mixed Friends. Race swap friends.
I'm a bit check out from Born Again. He said I'm a bit. I think you said you're going to check out from Born Again. They have to win me over with the trailer. Oh, that's respect, Jonan. And then
he said I'm a bit checked out from Born Again.
And then Jonan said, "Who should Vision go up against?" I don't know.
Yeah, like who would he go up
He
against?
should go up against Black Panther.
I think they're gonna bring in they'll probably develop an OP character, and he'll probably they're gonna create somebody.
He should go up against Black Panther and Jay Cargill as Storm.
Holy ish, guys! Okay, hold on. We got like 6 or 7 huge points y'all actually just spoke on that are actually worth like a 5 or 10 minute conversation. Roll back. Jay Cargill, amazing. I have answers to that. What did you say prior to that?
Who should Vision's first villain?
And okay, that as well. Now peel back. How did we get to Vision?
Because we looked at Vision Quest. That's an upcoming sitcom that's going to come out in 2026.
And
wait, it's a sitcom?
Is it a sitcom like WandaVision? That's
is it going to be a TV show?
See, that's what I'm talking about. So we just
Vision Quest, a spin-off of WandaVision, is set to arrive on Disney Plus in 2026 as part of Marvel Studios. Recently spotted filming in England. The Vision series.
Vision?
The Vision series has generated renewed excitement amongst fans eager to see where Marvel takes the character next after White Evolution was created in WandaVision. James Spader is also set to appear, adding intrigue with his return to the MCU
as Ultron
and reprising the role of Ultron in some form.
Bundle.
Yeah, Ultron. But you said sitcom earlier. If this show is a sitcom, like this show is dead.
It is.
Like, I guess when I said sitcom, I meant series. But all right.
Okay.
That's what I meant when I said sitcom.
Are we wrapping this up soon?
All right, Disney. If you're listening to this Jay Leno stream, do not make it a sitcom. Please do not.
Got things to do, guys. What up, Nino?
But what was the next?
I think that Jay Cargill as Storm should be in all of these TV shows, and you should see her thighs and all of her outfits.
Okay. Before he said Jay Cargill is number 3. I'm gonna give you number 2. Jodie Foster, no longer Smith, and then how about this? I think her name is Stormy. Hold on.
Oh yeah. It was called Spider-Man and His Diverse Friends. Yep, that's what we called it. Jonah Level Fox.
I love that show. My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with all of his diverse friends. I love that.
Talking about the new one that just came out?
Me and my wife watched that show.
Yeah, did y'all love how they race swapped? Did y'all love how they sex swapped Rhino? Rhino is now a female in that show.
That show's
and so is the lizard.
Yep.
AKA, I think her name is Catherine Connors
I didn't mind the Enter the Spider-Verse with Dr. Otto Octavius being her, but
I hated it. I hated
but
it.
the thing is, but she didn't have a big enough point, a big enough role for it to matter, and she still fulfilled her
right.
point.
Like she didn't have much to do in the movie, but looking back on it now, like I hate it now. Like it's trash. Ruins the movie.
Women should be boss looking back and tell men what to do.
You know what I mean? I mean, King.
Well, I already thought the movie was kind of bland anyway. Like a lot of people that I talked to. Yeah, I thought Into the Spider-Verse was bland.
A lot of people call those 2 movies the best Spider-Man films.
I know, and I disagree.
But they are
people.
though.
I'm like, how do you guys think those movies?
If you
are the best?
when
the multiverse stuff was cool, and the animation was cool, but that's about it though. The story with Miles's father passing, like Miles's father and the Prowler, all that stuff I've seen coming before. Like it's stuff that
isn't that, but
you know, it's basic stuff. It's basically Peter Parker.
But isn't that what all Peter Parker is, and he's the most popular Marvel character? Period. There's a reason why that got all of those Oscars and it got the grand opening for the greatest CGI and animated film of all time. I mean, obviously it did great. It's amazing. It's got Oscar awards to it. But yeah, I mean, again, me, hardcore bias, animator. So obviously I'm going to think the greatest thing of it, just like I do with Ready Player One. You know what I mean?
Jonas said Unicorn was an Iron Man villain as well.
I'm not denying the animation. I just thought the plot was very bland. And I saw everything coming from a mile away.
And I don't disagree with you with that, but with respect, isn't that the same thing with every comic book film, especially with Peter Parker? It's all about the death of Ben and then make him him. But at least Miles has at least 3 different layers on what makes him him, plus superpowers on top of it, and an entire Spider-Verse trying to hold him back. Peter ain't never had that.
Yeah, but he basically had villains
Right
that
on,
were
Bundle.
just Peter Parker's
He didn't.
villains. They weren't really his own villains, except for the Prowler, which was his uncle.
Again, and you are right on that. But also to his respect as well, all of Spider-Man is able to defeat all of his villains and Sinister Six. He didn't just have his own villains; he had the whole Spider-Verse against him. Isn't that greater?
Which was amazing.
And Miguel
I know y'all
O'Hara.
didn't like the sequel, but I thought seeing all those Spider-Mans in a film together was the coolest thing ever.
That's far more greater than
greater
than any of his enemies, and it's a brand new, fresh take. That's nothing that's ever been done before, and it worked in a multi. It worked, bro. That worked. That was awesome. That was awesome. I mean, you can like Toby, you can like Andrew, but
I wasn't wild. I just wasn't wild like you. You're wild.
I mean, I know everyone's wild about it. It's got Oscars.
What I like about the CGI or cell shade,
films can get Oscars, but that can't justify like how I feel about it. Like how you said that Chloe Zhao had an Oscar, but I think she's a hack. Though,
she was boo boo on that. She was
Oscar
boo boo on that film. Yeah, she should have done a Marvel film, but.
Like she should not be on a pedestal just because she got the one Oscar.
But what about the Spider-Man film making nearly 5 times more its box office? Doesn't that mean something?
I think the main reason for that is just because of the name alone, Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is gonna make money despite, and the fact that we had multiple Spider-Man, like Jay Leno said, in the film, which was a hype thing in its own. The animation was good. Like it's gonna make the money. They didn't make the money because of the plot being this amazing, complex story. Like it made money because of the animation. People like people were still hyped up because of the multiverse.
When it comes to live action,
that's how. But that's how
you can do way more. Yeah, you could do way more CGI, and it was a great execution.
I mean, that's how all things work. That's how Matrix films, Transformer films.
The Spider-Verse cannot happen in live action. You will never get that live action.
You do not care about Spider-Verse unless there is already that groundswell.
What if I told you they tried to do Spider-Verse in live action, but they failed? It was your Madam Web movie.
Oh, and that deserved to fail, but this one did.
But I'm saying they couldn't adapt what you saw in Spider-Verse in live action. You got to think about it. There was literally like 30 plus Spider-Man variants.
You can't
in one shot.
That's solid. That's solid. That is solid.
They probably just CGI them all.
And they did. That was the point to do. That was the point to do. Ain't no other.
You're not gonna get anything better out of Spider-Man today.
No, I'm talking about like if they did a live action, they'd probably just CGI them all in one shot.
Some of Miles, Jonas said some of Miles' villains did appear in Spider-Verse 2, which would make sense. Then Spider-Verse 1.
Can I ask a question for everybody?
Since Miles just became Spider-Man, Spider-Verse did put spotlight on Miles, where I'm seeing people wearing or talking about Miles to this day. Yeah. Miles is definitely cool as hell, bro.
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
With given the incredible amount of
we're not talking. We're not talking about the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season.
I understand. No, but I'm about to. I'm about to mention it. Giving with the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, giving across and to intro to Spider-Verse, giving all these different multimedia versions that we have and variants of Spider-Man, we kind of all get the same story on how he becomes him. I think the intro and across was a fresh take, which, to each his own. He doesn't really feel the same way about it. So I asked individually, what would be your introduction to a Spider-Man that you would care about that has not been done before that they couldn't do now? Because I feel like they've exhausted all the great ideas that you can make for your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with his street level talents. He's made him as important as he could be with being, the Beyonder, heart of the universe, and being who he was. He made him as important as he was by swapping different races and genders. You make his backstory with his uncle, make it his aunt, make him evil, make it symbiote.
Bro,
What
I
else
got
could
you.
they do with Spider-Man that would make it interesting if Across the Spider-Verse and it's not interesting to you? What could they do differently?
Are you
Because
speaking to
obviously,
SSJ or are you speaking to the panel?
I'm speaking SSJ intrinsically first, but to anyone else that is a detractor from Spider-Man, because I understand the Spider-Man fatigue, but they did try something while making like, hey, let's do Mary Jane as Venom. Trash. Okay, the trash. So, well, what else could they do with his origin and given what we have with him right now? What has
Are
not
you
been
ready,
done?
SSJ? Because I personally want to go. I want to take this.
Yeah,
thing.
because that's a lot. I mean, because
Yeah, you
that's
can
a
go.
lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can
that's
go.
an
I'm
open
chilling.
ass question.
I'm
What
gonna
else
be
could they do?
I'm gonna be completely honest
I
with
mean,
you. What the huge ball that got dropped, instead of doing friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, they should have directly went into Spider-Man 2099. Gave us Miguel O'Hara.
Miguel
Gave us
O'Hara, talk
gave
to
us
him.
freaking
Talk
Miguel
to him.
O'Hara.
Talk
Then
to
then
him.
you can throw it,
Talk to
and
him.
that's when you can get into your horror characters. You can go really far. You can if you want to. You can take it even further. That's when you can bring in Dracula. That's when you can go in the first. I'm talking about when
they're not bringing in
and
no
then you go that
Dracula
far.
without Blade
You can
now.
go to when Dracula had his own planet. You can go into your Man
They're
thing.
not doing all
You
that.
can you can go to Werewolf by Night. That could be a sequel.
go.
People can recognize that.
That'd be
You
great.
go
though.
straight into that, bro. And then like nobody's familiar with any of those characters, and it gets to feel like an adult series. Because now you got the gore and you got the gore and excitement and the gadgets. You just introduced him as a villain in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse 2.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
So
But let
boom,
him cook.
that's the
Let him
ball that
cook.
they dropped is Miguel O'Hara, and they gave
Let
us
him
freaking
cook.
Peter
Let him
Parker in a female cast.
I'm scratching not to start talking, but let him cook. Let him cook.
Go ahead. That's
Let him
it. That's
cook.
it. That's
Let
it.
him
That's
cook.
it.
No, SSJ, let him cook.
He said, load up the choppers like it's December 31st. I'm not a star.
Carter 6.
Somebody
June
lied.
6,
I got a
coming
chopper
soon.
in the car. I mean, like I said, I just wasn't that wild or impressed by the Into the Spider-Verse films
Hurting
like
my
that.
feelings.
Like the animation
You're
was
hurting my
cool
feelings.
and the fight scenes were
Hurting my
cool.
feelings.
But my mind just will not be changed. I've seen it quite a few times, like at a friend's house, not too long ago, recently too, and I was just like, "Yep, okay, yep, he's gonna be evil. Yep, his dad's gonna die. Yep, Prowler." I'm just like, yeah, like all this stuff is predictable
I
to
pray
me.
to live
So-
to see what comic book movie is a 10 out of 10 for you. I can't wait to see that.
Okay, but yeah, I just wasn't
didn't
wowed
mean
by
that as
it.
a roast.
And plus,
I didn't-
I was already kind of fatigued by Miles Morales
Yeah,
anyway, especially due to like him in the
That was
comics
the next
and
point.
like all the terrible comics that was coming out at
Yeah.
that time anyway, like the What If Miles Morales where he was Thor and
That was a next
What
big
If
point that I was gonna make.
like
yeah.
those were some terrible runs.
Yeah, I was gonna make that point.
What was
I
that?
said that was gonna be the next big point of mine as well. That I was gonna go off to, regardless of how great these Spider-Man stories can be. The PS5 Spider-Man intro and Across the Spider-Verse, or No Way Home. If you have fatigue on a certain character in a certain genre, it does not matter. That's what we're seeing in the MCU. That even if you have great films, some people are just tired of it. And that's the same way it is for a lot of Spider-Man films. That's why I don't think that the neighborhood Spider-Man went as well. I think it was a little bit too friendly in a genre where we're getting a lot of like, Commando, the HBO thing, was that Creature Commando or something like that. I forget what it was. You're getting Invincible.
Hold on
like,
1 second, Bundle.
We're going-
Did you get cut off, SSJ, or were you done with your take?
Yeah, I was pretty much done.
My
with
fault. If I
point.
cut you off,
Yeah,
my bad. I
fault.
didn't mean to.
Go ahead, Bundle. I just, I got to make
No,
sure.
that's really all I had. I just think that if there isn't, Spider-Man is the most recognized and probably popular outside of the MCU that started, but since he's been Inception since the 60s, most popular Marvel character. So that's why he's been able to make as many mediums as he has. But I do believe, like I said, being redundant, there is fatigue. So I think that plays into it. As great as intro and Across the Spider-Verse is, there's some fatigue with Spider-Man. So maybe if they fall off a little bit from him, but I don't know.
So,
We'll see. We'll see. That Predator versus Spider-Man is
Yeah,
pretty
I
nice.
think I like Spider-Man the most, like in the early 2000s, and like rewatching the animated series, Spectacular Spider-Man. Even the Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man series on Disney a few years ago with Drake Bell voicing him was kind of like the tipping point where I was like, all right, I'm kind of tired of
Yeah,
Spider-Man
there's the
now.
fatigue. That's what I'm talking about. So like, I feel.
But-
Yeah.
all right, so
yeah.
Jonah Level Fox said Spider-Man 29 could have worked too. He said, and help establish his character better to the general audience. Indeed, and then he also stated mostly the what ifs, but his actual comics seem average. I think he's referring to Miles Morales, but infinitely preferable than the slop we've been doing with Peter. So when it comes to Miles, I don't know if it was phases. I like future storyline Miles when he gets a connection with the Spidey totem and magic, and it becomes a sorcerer supreme through training through Doctor Strange. I think that's probably like when it gets when Miles Morales gets interesting to me. But and then of course just recently you've got Miles Morales being turned to a vampire and blood hunt comic series, but where that was 2024, you know. But other than that, I mean, Miles's stories are just slight variations and alterations of a Peter Parker story.
I give one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know when they're gonna release the next issue, but Aliens versus Avengers. Miles is one of the last few Avengers that has survived the alien invasion, from AVP, and he has the Venom symbiote that protects him from the face huggers. And so as of right now, he got lost within a final battle with Tony Stark, which Tony did die, but they never found Miles's body. But the symbiote within Miles will not allow a face hugger to be on Miles, so he's still alive.
Okay.
So I can't wait till that next episode comes out.
That's you know what that's in comparative to me. I didn't know if you guys had read the recent run of the Marvel Zombies, but it ended up being a Beta Ray Bill to save the day. Do you know why?
How
Because
come?
Beta Ray Bill is immune to disease.
Yeah, the Corbinite DNA. The Corbinite DNA in him. That's true.
Yeah. So with you mentioning, the symbiote being connected to him, it's kind of like you get to see. I would imagine, you get to see everybody kind of get demolished, and it's like he's about to come through and have that moment of being OP as hell. Taking over the room.
Yeah, I see it too.
All right. Let's see here. Mostly, yeah. Okay. Let's scroll this on down. Let's get Cuz back in here. All right. Moving on from Spider-Man. X-Men 97 Season 2. Hold on. I got to show you guys. They have every Marvel the characters confirmed for Season 2 of X-Men 97.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So for the
what does Morph got on to the far right? What the hell does Morph got on?
Morph wear whatever Morph want.
They really making him look sweet this season now.
But Morph is sweet in the books, because he can just be any and everything. And I don't know if he'll be as sweet as he was.
He wasn't this sweet in the book.
He wasn't.
They're really putting it out there to show you, like, hey, look at him. Like, that's what they're trying to do.
I think that was Bo DeMaio doing that, and he's gone now. So yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll go with
come on, Bundle.
Cuz, are you still there?
Talk to him, SJ.
All right.
Like, he offered that sweet and low.
I guess we'll see if we can get him back in there. Well, okay. Well, SSJ, I'm gonna let you start this off. So, what's your take on this upcoming season 2 of X-Men 97? Just just an overview of what your expectations are, or if you're going to be excited for it.
So
I'm still here, cuz.
Okay.
The first season I still thought was a pretty decent season as far as the story,
Here we go.
Yeah, like how it went narrative wise with the what was it, the Primal Sentinels, like that stuff was really cool.
Just call it. It was bad. It was BA, bro. Just say it.
She was nice, bro. It was good. It's okay to
It wasn't
say
a
that
10
you
out
were,
of 10.
Yeah, but it was
it's okay to say that you were a fan. It's okay.
I'd say it's a 6 out of 10.
No, it wasn't no 6 out of 10, bro.
6 out of 10.
Yeah,
You tripping, bro. Nah, it wasn't no 6 out of 10.
It was better than
That
Sonic
shit
3.
was
I rewatched
solid, bro. That shit was solid. You tripping.
Sonic 3, it wasn't better than no
Yes, it
Sonic
was,
3
bro.
now.
Yes, it was,
Yes,
bro.
it was,
Yes,
bro.
it
You
was,
just happy
bro.
because Shadow was in there.
No,
That
it
didn't
wasn't.
follow
Yes, it
any of the
was, bro.
storyline from the darn video
You
game.
being
You
biased,
need to
bro.
knock
You
that
being
down to
biased.
like the 7.
Yeah, but we discussed
biased.
that. It doesn't have to follow the video game to a specific
Bro,
team. Because
no
if it
one
did that,
really
then you're
has
going to be
fun.
like, oh, well, I know
Fly,
that this
bro.
happened here, this happened here, this happened here.
IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, Leno, you don't even play the Sonic
Gives.
games, so hush. You don't even play the Sonic
See, I know how to get to him. I figured you out. I
Stop,
figured
bro.
you out.
SSJ, you being overly critical, bro. No, the X-Men 97 joint
Nah.
was nice, bro. The animation
Bundle, you
was
gotta stop being
No,
accepting
bro,
of some of this stuff, because some of this stuff is not. You don't have to sit there and overly defend when
understand
I
that.
get
No, I
critical of
understand
this
that
stuff.
with
X-Men
What
This
If.
97
stuff is not
though.
I
perfect.
understand that with What
Like,
If and Daredevil.
Nah, it's a
I
6
get it.
out of 10.
I get it with What If and
6 out of 10.
Daredevil because that's fun.
Daredevil is a
But-
5 out
but-
of 10. Really,
I'm
you
about to
gave
say,
it
bro, I
4
feel
out
like
of
getting
10.
Daredevil.
I remember
I'm sitting there
I
telling
remember
y'all,
in the stream where you
like,
gave
this
it a
stuff is not as good as
7.5 out
it
of
should
10.
be.
I remember when you gave it a 7.5 out of 10. And you're on camera saying that for Daredevil.
Jonan, you
I'll
would say
give
that
it-
Sonic is
you
your
just said-
guy.
I'd say,
You
Sonic
said
is
that.
y'all
yeah, and I'm
guy.
gonna
Of
address
course,
that in
y'all
another
was just
You
happy
video.
said that.
I'd say
Shadow,
that that's
bro.
pretty much the hype
Yeah,
because
man.
of the
See, I
Daredevil.
figured y'all out.
The
That's why y'all
Daredevil
be doing the
character coming
videos
back on
together. Y'all
Well, it
screen.
sounds like you understand.
the same
Well, if
actor.
you understand the hype, then
So, like, now in hindsight, with the full 9 episodes being out, really only 3 of those episodes were really good. The rest of them were filler episodes. Specifically, that episode 5, which was absolute trash. That bank
Bro,
heist
I do not
episode.
want to talk
Get
about
that episode
Daredevil.
out of here.
yeah,
We're
Daredevil.
getting off topic, bro.
Daredevil got a
SSJ,
thumbs
But
up.
as for X-Men,
Daredevil
though,
got a
SSJ,
thumbs
my
up.
fault for
as
cutting
far
you
as
off.
X-Men
Continue,
goes, though, we
SSJ.
will
My
have to
fault,
see.
bro.
No, yeah, Daredevil got a thumbs up, but X-Men. Oh, you're right. We did control. My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, but X-Men, we will have to see, though, what they do with the story for season 2, because this season, like, basically on rewatch, why I gave it the score that I gave it is because it was mostly for setup, and it looks like the setup is there, and the second season is going to be way better than the first season based on what they set up in the end. So therefore, in that case, we are going to have a lot of the comic book things that we want to see, like Apocalypse and Gambit coming back to life.
They're bringing boys back. They're bringing some real. This
We're
is
gonna
real
see.
We
stuff.
got that the first season, though.
My fault. Go ahead, SSJ. I'm just a geek, bro. My fault.
Oh, he's not done. My bad. Yeah.
Wait, explain. What do you mean we got that the first season? Because Gambit was killed off, and then we got the cliffhanger of Apocalypse.
No, we got what we wanted out of X-Men 97 in the first season. The continuation to what happened in 97. We got a perfect pickup and drop off of where we were in 97. We did. It was like we didn't miss a beat. And the animation was on point where they were with Professor X being on the dark side of the moon with his
Sentinel
old
fight
shield
scenes
on,
was
like the
BA.
Sentinel fight scenes, the way that
Nightcrawler
Cyclops,
fight.
their whole the way that they interacted with each other, their whole Professor's
Nightcrawler
not,
only had
Professor's
one
not
fight
here like that, but
Yeah,
the
fight
fight scenes that they had really represented the X-Men as who they were supposed to be if they were not respected before. You never gave a F about Jubilee. Jubilee's powers were shown in a way and I respect that. I respect that. But no one was shown to be less than what they were meant to be. And a lot of people that weren't respected how they should be got their shine while simultaneously delivering the message that kept on what we wanted from X-Men 97. That was a great show. There was very little fat on that show, man. Animation-wise, fights-wise, emotion, the depth of the characters, the shock factor, killing people. That was a great plot line for a
great
cartoon.
comic book adaptation.
That's why it has that's why it got greenlit for the next 2 seasons. Rotten Tomatoes is one of
That's not why. Most shows are going to have a second season.
They already had the
regardless.
first
Not
one.
the Penguin.
That's true, but you can go ahead and get the first one.
It's going to
get the first one, but to guarantee 2 seasons, that means you have to guarantee the actor's schedule 3 to 4 years out. So that's a big deal to already guarantee 2 seasons before the first season is even done. That's actually a bigger deal than what you're giving it to. Like, that's a really big
Oh,
deal.
Jonah
They
Level
they
Fox
left
said they
very
need
little
to add
fat on that
Colossus
show.
to the
That's a
roster.
good
He's
show,
never
bro.
been on the team.
Apocalypse
Like
is
that is
coming.
Yeah, they
almost
should add
like
Colossus.
almost none in the cartoons.
And
And more
but there's no
students as
reason
well
to
to
think
But
make.
that
why do you
there's
act
no
like?
reason to think that he's
But
not
you
coming.
act like I'm basically shitting on the show, though. Sorry to curse, but you basically act like I'm shitting on the show. Like I gave the show a 6 out of 10. Like I'm not overly impressed, but it's not a bad show outright either. It's not
Hey
outright
Derek,
aggressively
Derek,
bad.
bro. Hey
It's
Derek,
not a
bro.
terrible
I got
show.
6 out
something.
of
I got
10
something
There
for
is
you,
were
not.
Derek.
there were some
I
things
got
in the
something for you,
show
Derek.
that was kind of boring. Like there were some slow moments. The Jubilee episode was terrible and not needed.
But what would be a 9 or 10 out of 10? Because Rotten Tomatoes, the most, difficult ranking, people ever, they even gave it a 9.2. So what could they be missing as an X-Men show and characters? What could they miss to make that a 5
But you
or
do
6?
realize me and Rotten Tomatoes are two different,
Which is
two
why I'm
different
asking
people
that.
there.
What could they miss? Every character was represented the way that they should have. The story was represented the way it should have been. They gave you 4 pivotal big moments.
You didn't think Wolverine could have had more screen
Look,
time?
He
I
wasn't
think
the main
Nightcrawler
character.
could have
He
had more
And the
wasn't, but
screen
he
cakes
time
wasn't
was
too.
the
out.
main
The
character.
cakes
He
was
wasn't
out.
the main character.
The
The main
cakes
character
was
was solid around Magneto and Professor X because they're the leaders. It's around them and the X.
We didn't get Professor X until like episode
I know,
7.
but we got the leadership and the impact.
So he
of,
wasn't a main
he-
character
he-
until
he
like
was.
episode
He
7.
was. We got the impact of the severity of him leaving.
The audience, we thought he was dead or off screen in space
If you knew,
somewhere.
if you knew,
We
if
didn't
you
get
knew
the
the
reveal of
comics,
him until
I know,
later.
but you knew the comics, you get that.
No, I know the
I
comics.
I
but I'm just
understand
talking
that, but
about from a casual
I
standpoint. I know
get that,
what
but
you're talking
even
about.
Ask
with
you guys
Professor
questions.
X not
Why
being
is
there,
the
there was
powerful behind
still
the scenes
very,
leader of
very
the X-Men,
pivotal
Charles Xavier,
first 3
Professor X, is
episodes.
expected to
Magneto
play a
leading the
pivotal
X-Men.
role for the team as
Magneto,
X-Men 97 moves into season 2.
dude, the first
Jade
episode got
Cargill
a
still be Storm.
9.7. No, she shouldn't. No, she's not. She's
Jade
just cute. No,
Cargill
she's not.
still be
No, she shouldn't.
Storm.
No, she shouldn't. No, she shouldn't. No, she shouldn't. But X-Men 97, you are being.
So because the first episode got a
The entire
9.7,
series
that
got
means
a
the rest of the
9.7.
episode should merit that.
The entire series.
like the it's widely recognized the show is a hit success. That's why you get 2
Now-
seasons
okay.
guaranteed in the middle of the season. You don't do that for something that's not successful. It's guaranteed. So we're not debating.
It was gonna get a
No,
season
they were
2
getting a season
regardless.
2,
It
but
had
you
nothing
don't
to
get
do
a
with the show's
guaranteed season
performance.
3.
It was gonna get
But
a
you don't get a
season 2.
guaranteed season
Guaranteed.
3. You don't get a guaranteed. You're missing
Ons-
that. You don't
Oh
get
yeah,
a guaranteed
Jonas says
season
Onslaught.
3.
We should get
It'll probably
Onslaught.
get
No,
a
no, no,
season
no, no.
3
You don't like.
because your What If got a season 3.
Yeah, but it wasn't guaranteed. That came 3 years
And that
afterwards.
show was
It came
terrible.
3 years afterwards. They got a guaranteed season 3 in the middle of the season. That told you where the revenue.
And the ratings were not as high as this X-Men 97. That show was terrible, and it got 3
That's
seasons.
true. That came years afterwards. I'm talking middle of the season. You're forgetting a main point, bro. You're talking.
No, I'm listening, but you're
No,
not
but-
listening
okay,
either.
so how does it respect? It's like, okay, listen, you're so good at something. I'm going to give you a credit for it 3 years afterwards. That's cool, right? But you're so good at something while you're on it. I'm going to give you a 3-year deal in the middle of your first year because I know how good you are. That's Luka Doncic, LeBron James shit. That's what they're doing. That's why they got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's why they have Emmy Awards. You don't get 3 years guaranteed in the middle of your season if you're a piece of shit. You get 3 years guaranteed after your season ends 2 years afterwards. That's what you're talking about. It's 2 completely different things.
You also got to understand
hope
there's
this will be
hype behind
entertaining to
this too
everybody, but
because it's part of the connected
But
universe.
But you're also forgetting that
Got a
they
lot
did
of
this in the
part of
middle
the
of
connected
COVID
universe, so
and
there's
SAG
already a
strikes.
pre-established hype
Yeah, but they
behind
did this
it.
in the middle of COVID and SAG strikes too on top of it. So that's even more to knock them back. And they still did the ish and they still made it happen and still made the profit for it. It's not like it's a sham. It made numbers. It did like 4 or 5 times better than what it was supposed to do. We're not arguing the success. We're just arguing whether you care about it or not. But clearly the public cares. That's why we got 3 more seasons.
All right, so are you guys excited to see Havoc?
Thank you for that response.
It worked.
Are you guys excited to see Havoc in season 2?
Jay Cargill should be Storm.
No, Jodie Foster would be better. She's not an actress. Jay Cargill is just a wrestler. She's
I
not an
take
actress.
that you guys do not care about seeing Havoc in season 2.
Nah.
He's cool, but we need more of
we
the
don't
original
care. Yeah, we don't
characters. Like Jonan Level Fox said, Colossus, bring in Colossus. Let's get Iceman
We don't
back.
care about. We don't care
Like, give
about
us the
Cyclops.
original
Didn't Iceman die in the story?
No, he left.
Iceman is an Omega
He
level
left
mutant. You got to bring him back. We don't care about Cyclops.
He quit the team to go after his girlfriend.
Yeah. We bring back.
That's another thing that Bundle was missing out on previously. Like it has a pre-established universe, a connected universe with the other animated shows, so it already had that hype behind it anyway.
Which speaks
like
to
fans already think like, oh, we might even get a Spider-Man 97 series,
98,
which is possible. Or
It
98,
kinda
which
did.
is possible.
Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah, which all I didn't miss it. That all goes to the respect and hype to it, which is why it means something.
You've got
Polaris. We don't want to see her. I don't
Polaris,
wanna see
we
her.
don't care. She was shown, but we don't care for her. But they did well just to show it because it was Magneto's little.
Polaris is set to make an appearance.
And she made an appearance already.
Saber too, yeah,
She
bring
made an
him
appearance,
back.
but she's not important. Yeah, you don't have to go into her, but yeah.
And not cameo, because I know someone was probably
Lady
gonna mention,
Deathstrike
well,
returns.
Morph
We get to see
cameo, but
we get to
already
see
saw
her
that.
again in her claws.
She made a cameo. She made a cameo in this season. All these characters made cameos.
Yeah, but that's a cameo though. Like we want to see like the actual character. We're not talking
never
about.
heard of
Morph
Warlock.
cameos.
I don't
Like,
even
we
know
wanna
who
see
that
the
is.
actual character there.
What would you like to see
Apocalypse
Lady
is coming.
Deathstrike do? Like be in like a big war or something? She's not important enough.
Yeah,
she'd probably be.
I
an
would love to
episode
see.
with
I would love to see
Wolverine in
Sabretooth.
Japan.
Like fuck Morph being Sabretooth.
Maybe Silver
Be
Samurai.
the real Sabretooth.
Rachel,
And then
Rachel
show her on the
Summers is going to make her appearance.
I would see Dakin before Wolverine's son before I care about her. Wow.
Yeah.
Because given where X-Men
Yeah, we don't care
97
about her
left
either.
off, they're not going into the summers.
Yeah, this list is now. This list is
Yeah.
starting not to look
Yeah.
good now. We don't care for
We don't
none
care
of these
about
characters
these
on the
characters.
list.
So it's just like, where are they going with it? Like,
So
where are they
at-
going with it?
So the real big question at the end of the day is who's going to be Apocalypse's horseman?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I need to figure out where they're going with it before.
That's what this second season is going to get.
Because a lot of these characters, like we can sit there and be like, oh, we don't care about them, but given where the story is going, specific characters are like, oh yeah, you are pivotal to that story. Yeah, you are. Like, oh yeah, like yo, Hope Summers. I don't care about you at all, but in this story, yeah, you are the truth. You know what I mean? So I just need to know where X-Men 97 is going. Once you figure out where they're going, then we can go ahead and care whether or not, like, okay, yeah, you're worth it, you're trash, get out of here, you're feminist, you're trash, you're, you know what I mean? So I just need to know where the plot is first, because at this point, it's just throwing character names.
If you look at that picture, Colossus in the background of this image, he does. I don't think he has a mark. Like everybody else.
Did they show Ileana Rasputin in 97? Did they show her?
No,
they didn't.
Oh,
no, they didn't.
I mean, Colossus does need to show
Let me
up.
see what that image is. Where's that bit? Okay, I gotta look for that one image, but they didn't cross out Colossus.
What
he's not deceased.
What mean needs to be in there in season 2? What, like, obviously I say Apocalypse.
I don't know if she got confirmed, but let's see Psylocke, let's see Emma Frost.
Psylocke's gonna be in there. She's gonna be
Emma Frost.
Psylocke we just saw on the list, but I want to see Emma Frost for sure, though.
Emma Frost.
I want to see.
Hold on. Jonan did say that Polaris is Iceman's ex and Magnus' daughter, and Deathstrike could be an antagonist for Logan in a one-off episode. Okay, go ahead. My fault, SSJ.
Yeah, I want to see Mystique. He said Magic had a cameo as Morph. I didn't see it though because I rewatched X-Men 97. I did not see a Magic cameo. I'll have to look into that. However, Mystique though, I say that cautiously because you know how these comic books have been doing recently where they want to focus on the character's sexuality more than anything else. So I say that cautiously. If we can get a regular Mystique, how she was in the previous show, where she works alongside Magneto, and maybe she had a relationship with Sabretooth and maybe Azazel to explain Nightcrawler's existence. But if they go ahead and try to pull the whole Destiny thing, then I'm dropping the show.
I don't know if we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get an origin.
How do you feel about
like
the fact that
a
Rebecca
re-origin.
Romaine's character was announced for Doomsday Avengers? And I mean, Rebecca Romaine's character, the one that originally played Mystique in the first two X-Men and X-Men Last Stand, she is labeled as a return character from the Mystique actress and the Doomsday film. The little, so
it's fan
so like,
service.
I mean, whether we get the Mystique that we want, like you just spoke on, we will get her to some degree in that film, and I don't think she'll live. But carry on, my bad. That's all I want to say.
I don't think it'll be.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it will be either.
Her presence isn't that important. At the end of the day, she's gonna be wearing so much makeup. I can't judge her for how old she is or how she moves or anything, because she'll be blue and transfer to a different color in seconds. She'll just transition to a different person. You know, so
no arguments. I hear you. No arguments.
She's a walking chrome key.
But you guys did see that post I put that was like, here's the 13 films to see before that, and one that I did find that was interesting that they put Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, and I'm just like, outside of knowing who his character is and his power, what about that story would we have to take seriously going into Doomsday? Like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, what about the 10 Rings do I have to take seriously here?
Did they speak on where Abomination is?
And She-Hulk.
You want me to keep it a real answer? Because that's the only answer I can give.
I don't think we're going to get Fing Fang.
I feel the hate. Go ahead, bring it. I'm with it.
So, basically, like, this movie is just gonna be like a slop of, like, everything is just gonna be put together poorly. It's not gonna be something intellectual where it's gonna be related to a specific comic and you have to go and rewatch all these specific movies. It's just gonna be these characters jumbled in this movie together because they didn't have a plan going forward, like a plan set in stone previously. And I was talking to a lot of other people that are like similar to Bundle, who will sometimes shill some of these MCU products,
try to defend them,
and like try to defend them. Like, I've spoken to some of these people, and they were like, "It's kind of weird we're getting an Avengers movie so soon when we had all these movies from Phase 4 and Phase 5 to build up
I spoke on that too,
and not really a story to connect to, or not really a character to really hold on to." Like, that's really the main issue I had with Captain America Brave New World, because of Sam Wilson. His character gets destroyed in Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he's defending terrorists, and now all of a sudden he's okay with being Captain America when he wasn't, and now he has the black agenda where he has powers when he shouldn't. He's fighting the Red Hawk.
But I hear you.
No, there's absolutely nothing more to it. Like, that's pretty much
Jonas said they
There's
also got
nothing
to
to it.
stop reforming Mystique and making her the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah, they gotta stop doing that. Like, if they like, that's what kind of ruined the later Fox
That's
movies.
stupid.
Like with Jennifer Lawrence. Like, I'm glad that's kind of why I'm glad they didn't decide to get Jennifer Lawrence back.
They
for these
fixed it though
movies,
and killed her
because she
ass.
would have just came back and been like, oh multiverse hijinks. Because why is this Mystique coming back? Because in X-Men Last Stand, didn't her powers get taken away?
Yeah.
So I think it's just multiverse hijinks to just bring these characters from whatever point in time.
They got
feel
them
like
back
it.
though. They showed that those characters got those powers back. You know,
And technically, if we're going after Days of Future Past, shouldn't Xavier and Magneto be dead? Like, how do we have Xavier and Magneto? If I'm, you know what I said. So they're probably just from a different timeline.
At the end of Days of Future Past, I thought everybody got saved.
Wolverine.
That's in a different timeline. When Wolverine went back in time.
Erased the horrible apocalyptic future with Sentinels coming forward. So in a sense, it did save things. But in this film, we're just gonna get a completely different variant of them. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. It's just, hey, it's a different variant. Whatever. So you don't need to really like look too much into it. It's like, hey, you need to watch X-Men, X-Men 2, and X-Men Last Stand to understand that these were the actors that participated in these characters. But outside of that, these are just new variants.
They're just gonna set up that we grabbed them for wherever they came from, and they're here now.
And
So
that's what they did in
here.
Deadpool and Wolverine. And that's what they did with Deadpool and Wolverine. And it worked.
TVA,
So,
there's so many explanations. The TVA
we
can
don't
do it.
Yeah, you
Doom
don't
can
need
do it
an
at any
overt,
time.
like,
You can
explanation
automatically
on those
assume. You don't have to
characters.
go into detail.
Yeah,
You're right.
you don't need an over explanation on those popular characters. What's understood don't need to be explained. We're 25 plus years into this. Y'all know their origins. Here they are on the screen. Bam, enjoy.
Yeah, it had a few reasons for why it worked in Deadpool and Wolverine, what you just said, and then two, mainly because it's like supposed to be like a parody, kind of like it's not supposed to be taken serious like that.
In certain films like that,
like I had a conversation with my brother, like we were talking about Gambit. I said, like, remember how graphic Gambit was, like his conversation with Deadpool and Deadpool Wolverine. Like even Deadpool said, "Jesus, that's graphic."
What up, doctor?
Like, and I was like, you would probably never hear a Gambit talk like that in a regular X-Men movie.
Gambit would never
like
do that. He would never do that. He said he stuck my buttery nuts up in my mama and I shot out his dick like, "What up, doc?" He said, "Jesus." What? I was like, bro. Gambit would never say that in the movie, bro. What the?
Yeah, he would never say that in like a regular X-Men film.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
so that
supposed
was
to be returning.
He is returning. People
yeah,
like
he's
it.
supposed to be
People
returning.
like his character, so we'll see what they got.
I said in my video previously, like he looked cool. He looked all right in the suit. His face looked a little chubby, but I wasn't really expecting. Like I wasn't really dying for him to come back and play Gambit again.
I was more excited to see Wesley Snipes from Blade came out and that beat came out. Wesley Snipes came out. I feel it was like
that's the one that everybody clapped at the most. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. You just heard a cricket when it was Electra,
no one cared.
And then everybody clapped at Blade, and then nobody
people
said
said,
nothing.
"Oh,
I think
it was Gambit," but when Blade came out, I theater said,
"Yep."
You just heard one girl go, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's Gambit."
Everybody like got quiet when Gambit, because at first it was like, okay, he looks cool, but then like the more Channing Tatum started talking, it was like,
People started laughing. They were like, "What's he saying?"
Like,
my name is Remy Labo, aka Legamo.
But I was just happy. I was just happy to have a Gambit, though. I'll be honest.
He would always ask me before he started drinking up my liquor.
I did.
Yeah, he was.
I almost pissed myself laughing when they showed short Wolverine, because that's the Wolverine I wanted. And like, I've been complaining about why we don't get the short Wolverine, but then when I finally saw it, I was like, I should shut the hell up.
I'll be objective here, and I've said it. I think I said it on previous streams. Like, I don't understand the people that get upset and angry and hostile at the fact that we can't get a 4'11" or 5'2" Wolverine. Like, you don't know a lot of guys that's that size. Like, that's just like, what guys do you know that's
dude,
that
what
size
guy is
and
going to be that size and that build that's going to represent Wolverine? You got to get a huge
And please, for the love of God, stop mentioning Danny DeVito.
No, man, no, you crazy. I look, a short. I'm
just saying this for the
short,
trolls in case we get trolls.
5'4" guy.
Man, he's not
that's
out
not
here.
gonna happen. Like,
hold on. I got a real example.
That's
hey,
why
cuz,
I think they should retcon Wolverine's size in the comics, because like nobody's that size.
Yes,
better off.
How many? Okay. How many 5'8" and below guys do you see in the weight room? Bodybuilders in your competition.
It is my turn, Bundle.
Yeah, I wasn't even the one talking.
But cuz I was asking you, how many 5'8" or below people do you see in the weight room with you, or even in
There's a lot. That's the majority of the main bodybuilders. So the Mr. Olympia type of bodybuilders, the really huge guys, they're all that height, 5'8".
We are at.
But what about 5'2" or 4'11"?
I think the smallest is 5'4".
But even 5'4".
And that's just one.
That's the majority of the bodybuilders. That's how they look so stocky. It's because they're short. If you see my physique, I'm 6'1". I would never get that stockier look because you have to be short to get that stocky look.
There you have it, gentlemen.
Okay.
Jonan says in the days of future, everyone was safe, but Logan implied some, not all the characters died. But like Doctor Strange 2 with Professor X, that can't that can be ignored. Then he says people who
Yeah.
confised, but I was like, finally he's back. I think he said confused. People were confused. I think that's what they meant. He would say. Because they kept shelving him since Wolverine Origins. He talked about Gambit. He said, "Yeah, I agree. Not everything from comics translates onto screen, so Wolverine being 6 foot should be a slight knock. Wolverine's like 5'3", 5'4". So I mean, they were trying to. I look at it like,
So even if you can't find somebody 5'3", 5'4", like most guys are like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", or 5'11". Like that's average height. So like, are we gonna be upset if we see a Wolverine that's average height, or people are gonna complain again and say, well, he needs to be shorter than
well,
that?
okay. So I look at it like if we got short Wolverine, we would have got a buffer Wolverine.
Yeah,
I guess would the word be more dense? So yeah. So he would.
because I think Hugh Jackman has the perfect like his body, like how his body
What are you talking?
looks,
Maybe
like
maybe
especially
Wolverine
when
by the time he was Wolverine Origins when he finally got buff. But
yeah, like I say, X-Men Origins Wolverine, like the second the Wolverine movie, that Hugh Jackman was probably like the best physique for like a Wolverine in my
it was to me
opinion.
it was like early.
Like
It
maybe
was
if he was
Days of
like a little
Future
bit
Past for
shorter
me.
even.
Days of Future Past.
Oh yeah, Days of Future Past. Yeah, that he was good in that too. He had a good physique in that too with the bone claws. Yeah, so even if he had that physique too, it's just people were mad that he was 6 foot tall, and I know on a lot of the scenes they may try to make it like they try to film it in a way to make it look like he was shorter than some of the cast. You can kind of tell they tried to film it in a way.
But I mean, look, I'm not mad, but it was a joke to how short that they had Wolverine. That wasn't that wasn't a real display of somebody that's 5'3", 5'4". So, but
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, that's kind of funny. I hope that doesn't happen. Like, I hope we
yeah,
don't get a
yeah, yeah.
Wolverine
That's what I'm
that's
saying. I was.
actual Wolverine this side. I don't want to see that.
That's why I was like, dang it, maybe I should shut up. But I was just like, no, they over exaggerate.
And then people were hyping up the Henry Cavill. I was like,
It
that's
wasn't bad.
cool. I hope we don't get Henry Cavill as Wolverine
It wasn't
though.
bad though. Chip. All in all,
But yeah, because I've spoken to people that are like, Hugh Jackman's horrible, and I hate him because he's too tall, and they should have gotten somebody. I'm just like, bro, like, what are you talking
I
about?
wasn't sold on him in the first
Like, who do
film
you
though.
know?
I'll say that.
Yeah, the first film, like I said, the first film is kind of rough. It's really a rough movie. It's a movie of its time. Like it was good for the time being, but I've tried to watch it in recent times, and it's kind of hard to get through in some scenes because of it's aged.
All right. John Level says, and Storm is like 5'11", but people don't think about it. But Hugh Jackman towers over Holly Berry. Yeah.
Jade Cargill should be Storm.
Well, guys, we got through our topics. How do you guys feel? I mean, anything y'all want to include?
No, I don't have anything else.
Jade Cargill should be Storm.
Why'd you put a little more head movement the way you ended saying that?
He
You
said I
said
wouldn't
Storm.
mind. Yeah, he would be awful. Like I think he was okay in the one scene, but I do not want to see him play Wolverine. Like to me, he looked more like a hillbilly than he did Wolverine.
But that's how. But honestly, bro, I really want. I want Wolverine to be like super hairy armed, like Robin Williams. They said he's supposed to stink like he dang near don't take a bath. Like
They all do. Like they said, X-23 is supposed to stink too.
so, like
Danny
that.
DeVito should be Wolverine, and Jay Cargill should be Storm.
I hate you.
Since we're on Wolverine, one thing I'll say is since I rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine a couple of weeks ago, I wish that they would have showed the Wolverine variants doing more. Like you just see them do a quick scene of them like slashing Deadpool away, and then
Hey,
that's
the
it.
one
Like, they
armed
should've
one at
shown
least
more.
did something cool.
Yeah, like he beat him up for a little bit, and then he threw him in a different universe. Like they should have shown some more scenes. Like I feel like there's more scenes that they film, but it's just on the cutting room
He
floor.
said Senator Kelly's death. He told me when he turned into that puddle of slew, he came out of the ocean.
Yeah, the Senator Kelly's death.
I was so mad that they wasted so much time with that, just having him in the film. Like it was just, y'all don't even know how I felt when that first came out. All right, I'm about to end this bad boy, guys.
Bundle, you still there?
All right,
He's not there.
and this shall end. All right, I appreciate you guys for tuning in with this. Hit the like button as well as you guys that are on the panel. SSJ, Bundle, and Derek, if you guys get that like button, show support to the channel.
Yes,
Wait,
sir.
I have one more thing I must say. SSJ, this is my normal form.
He gonna do it again.
SSJ. I can't do it. Okay, never mind. All right.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for watching. We're out.
I just couldn't do it for how funny the first time was.
It's all good.